let's start with VJ. This is the only trade I'm actually in. I've had like a rocky start to the week, to be honest, because I went Spain. I went Spain, and I just went wild because I was just so happy to just be out and meet everybody, and you know, I haven't seen everybody in the office for quite a while and stuff like that. So I did like 2 trades in Spain, which I held over the weekend from the previous week. Closed them off, and I wasn't really looking for any other opportunities because I wanted to have fun. In quarantine, I was going so hard. I was doing probably about 6 to 8 trades a week, probably for the second half of quarantine, which had a high success rate overall. So, you know, I went away, and even though it's quite tempting just to get on the charts and stuff like that, it's sometimes, if you've had a good run, just be thankful for that and go away, have some fun for a little bit and let loose, because again, staring at a screen all day, it will send you a little bit insane. And it's, you know, a good streak or a bad streak, you need to just force yourself away, have some fun, you know, take some money out of the market and just spend some on quality time with your friends. Be grateful for that, come back and do the same again. So I came back from Spain, had to go and help my friend DJ. Then we had many late nights in Spain, probably like sleeping like 3 hours a night. That was Ned's fault, by the way. And then I came back, had to move out of where I was staying, move into a new house. So I've only had like 1 day's rest, which was yesterday. So I tried to like look at the markets and stuff, but because of sleep patterns, you know, I'm just disorientated from session times, and I've been waking up at like 12 in the afternoon. So today is my only day where I've actually come in the market and I've started to you know, dig deep, and Euro JPY was my setup. My previous setup was on Monday, Euro JPY shorts from the top, but I also shorted like the week before, which I'll explain the entire thing right now. So who's actually in the trade in the room?
Yeah, I was short.
So so are you in this trade right now?
No. It's near 8.6, I wanted to.
Yeah. All right, cool. The shift in momentum. Okay, so everybody can see my chart, right? Let me just remove everything right now. So just to simplify things on TradingView, well, I'm sure you've seen some of my recent videos, but just to simplify things, what I'm looking for is the high and low of the previous candle, yeah? On the weekly, by the way, because I want to set up the weekly range to see. A lot of the time in the market, you'll see that at a point in, it's either going to break out, but a lot of the time it will take out the previous week high, and then it would dump back below, creating a spike above, and then the whole weekly range will more or less change, and then we'll reverse. So what I'm looking for is, I just put the 2 lines on there. I'll come into the daily, see what the daily is saying. And what we've had this week is, let me just pull up the horizontal array. I look for the more or less daily low, the recent most daily low, and try to figure out the daily range within the weekly range, and it's quite straightforward. Then, coming into the 4-hourly, I'll look at the PA, and again, what range we're in. So the reason why this is what a barrier here, but I also have the weekly barrier below. So I have the same weekly range, which what I believe is going to happen is we're going to come up to this area. This is my target, and I'll go into dissecting my actual entry for this in a moment. But I use these as more or less target areas on maybe like 4 or 5 currency pairs. I'm going to continue the narrative. Again, my brain is only on about 50%, but you see some of the videos, I go quite in depth, right, and I explain it quite well. But I'm going to continue the narrative of doing so, and I'm going to put some new content together where I'm actually going to cut up the videos and create like a storyboard too, on like currency pair, currency pair, currency pair, so we can see a good few weeks of price action. So on this currency pair, I'm actually looking at this as a target zone, okay, target area for this trade. 4-hourly, I can't really see too much there in terms of price action, but what I'm interested in is the hourly, and I'm also interested mainly on the 15-minute. So you guys have seen on the recent videos, what I'll do is I can see on some of your guys' charts now that you've got all of the sessions on, you know, for every single day. All I've really done is I can look at a chart, and due to more or less it's like discretionary sense, intuition, if you will, I can more or less sense, you know, the directional bias or where it's going to go, and that just comes over time. So what I've done to keep my charts clean is instead of drawing every single session zone on there, I can see you have this fib on here as well, right, which is reacted to quite nicely because you have the range at the bottom. I'll go in and I will look at the most relevant area to go in and place some of the session areas on. So I'm just going to start from, obviously in the last few days we've had consolidation and then we've had the dive, yeah? Now we've seen consolidation, now we're getting the rise. So I know this consolidation area right here, if I actually go in and start with that first. So, 1 second. So we have fucking US, then we have Asia, then we have 8 AM London. If I move this across, okay, that's great. What we can see at the top there is instead of drawing every single high and low on, as well as every single session break over time, you have the weekly range, go into the daily, see like the main points, high and low, which we've done. Got the daily low here as well. We could maybe even put the daily high across there too. But in terms of the session highs and lows, we can see that here, okay, what's this? We have that's an Asian high. Over here, we have the previous US high, so let's just place that area across here. We also have a US low across there as well. So I've more or less, by eye, firstly, have seen that I've had the consolidation area. Again, that comes with practice over time. So boxing that off across the top, I always go into the hourly. I'll confirm the hourly with the 15-minute, all right? So confirming the hourly with the 15-minute, place the areas on the 15-minute. So I'm not doing every single one because I know for a fact that a lot of the guys who are new to the charts, when there's so many lines on there and there's so many highs and lows, you're like, what the fuck is going on? So what I'm trying to express is that wherever you see consolidation areas, we're obviously waiting for the move afterwards, right? So let's say ahead of time, this didn't happen. We've seen the consolidation area here, and before this rise, today I've just seen the consolidation area here. So I'm just interested in this consolidation areas on the 15-minute and the hourly. I've mapped out the weekly high and low just from the simplicity of the previous week candle. So again, you don't need to go and draw highs, lows, just focus on the last weekly, because there's a high chance that we can remain in that range, play in the range, and then use them areas targets back and forth. Does that make sense? Again, all of this I'm going to translate into some new material. So, consolidation area. Then what we have is a few touches on the high. We start to, oh, by the way, moving averages, 8 moving averages really good for this. I can see that you guys have various moving averages. Whenever I post my MT5, I have numerous moving averages on there. I'm not using all of them, that's just like for show, just for Instagram, just to confuse people. So yeah, just use the 8 moving average, which can also help, you have to really zoom in, especially on the 15-minute, to look at the price action as to what it's telling us. Because sometimes, session here, see the breakout? Spikes above the high, the markets come back down, we have 1, 2, 3 tests, again once more, failed momentum, we've come back below, spike into that high, we've come below the 8 moving average, spike, and then we fell off, momentum's come short, and then we've also taken out this previous low there as well. So once that's done, okay, cool, excellent, out of that trade, market starts to consolidate again. So this is why I took this EJ trade today. So I can just delete some of these afterwards, keeping that clean, in and out of the market. And once you've had a decent trade or a good run, and you're happy with the progress, and again, the percentage gain on your account, or even you're happy with the market run itself, you don't need to just keep stalking the pair, because you have to think of, it is going to stop, consolidate for a while, and you don't want to be stuck in this, for instance, waiting for this massive move, because something like this can happen. Do you know what I'm saying? You can see this consolidation, and then guess what? Boom. If you're not on point, 50-60% of your profits are being taken away because you haven't got out of the trade and used a different currency pair. So what I do, I switch in and out. I switch in and out, and because I have like a lot of experience with this, I can often just tell. We'll go through a few different currencies in a minute, some that I haven't looked at, maybe in a few weeks myself, and see what we can see there. But with next area of consolidation, one thing I will point out as well is look at yesterday's candle. It's standard like bearish engulfing, and you would look at that on the daily time frame, wouldn't you, and think, oh shit, continuation. Now, what's important here is this low on the daily. That low would have needed to be taken out with momentum for this area to be a complete reversal, if that makes sense. But it hasn't been yet. So you want to take care of the spikes. Okay, that's one example there. That could be another example there as well. And if the daily momentum, if you are holding a trade overnight, for instance,